All right, back at it. Going to do a mowing here. I already started actually trimming the front lawn on this one. Uh, then the customer just left, so thought I would do a live stream. Might as well. I haven't done one in a little bit. You flip the camera around and put it on my mount, ultra wide. So this one here, if you're just joining, thank you for joining. This one here is one, it's a weekly client. I would call this like a utility cut. Like I said, I actually started trimming this one already beforehand, before doing the live stream. The client just left, they just stepped out. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to do a live stream. This one is interesting because I call this the French fry house. Because when I go into the backyard, it always smells like French fries. And that's because right behind the back gate is a Wendy's drive-thru. So it being currently about, let's see here, 12:36. So it's lunchtime here. Those deep fryers are they're going strong right now. It's the rush, the lunchtime rush. So yeah, it always smells like French fries. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio. I'm using the Isotunes Pros with the external microphone, or not external, the boom mic is what I meant. The boom mic options. Just let me know in the chat if you can hear. Make sure my truck is locked. While I go into the back. Grass here is like growing like crazy right now. Temperatures have warmed up, and look at how thick that is. It's got to be at least 5-6 inches tall in 1 week already. I'm rocking the brand new second generation Milwaukee with a 12 amp hour Forge battery. So far, really liking this unit. Huge improvement in power over the first generation Milwaukee string trimmer, which I loved. This one has some improvements. I think some people complained with the original ones. If you were in like a hot area, maybe say like Texas or something like that, for example, that they would overheat and then shut off. So Milwaukee has redesigned the second gen. A couple of notable improvements. Forge batteries, for one, are tabless. So that just means that the cells inside, if you were to take apart the battery pack here, there'd be a whole bunch of battery cells that would kind of look like AA batteries. So how they're connected is what they changed there. So it used to be like a little strip of metal that would connect the batteries in series. So now they don't do that. I'm not sure exactly how it's connected, but they're calling like that's what was referred to as the tab. So the new ones are tabless. And the reason is that tab, that piece of strip of metal, was the bottleneck in how much power from the batteries could be delivered to the motor. So new batteries are tabless, which means a lot more current can flow through, which means faster charging and more powerful motors were included. Yes, if we look here, and take a look here and show you guys why. So there's a basic backyard, but this is why I call this one the French fry house. Because if we look just past the fence there, I don't know if you guys can see that. Ooh, there's Wendy's. Cars going through a Wendy's drive-through there. So yeah, literally in her backyard, right there, you can see the Wendy's. I was telling her, man, she should have looks like she put a new fence. She didn't take my advice. I told her she should put a gate there, have an emergency frosty gate there. You know, for those hot summers, be able to just open your back gate and grab a frosty. Let me know if the audio is working. That would be great. Just a quick in the chat. Yes, it's working. Anyways, yeah, this lawn is just growing like crazy. The only thing I've done to this lawn so far this year, this is the third weekly cut so far. But all I've done so far is just put moss control down and a 936 fertilizer. It's actually the same product. The moss control basically is iron phosphate. It's the iron dust, but it needs a carrier. Basically, it needs a way to get applied onto the lawn. Can't just put it as like a dust, otherwise it would just blow away. So I've seen it in a couple of different products. Actually, like, yeah, 3 different ways. You can do it as a liquid and spray it on. Then, of course, it's a little bit more time consuming, I think, than having to have, you know, a dedicated sprayer and hoses and reels and all that sort of stuff. The other is using your fertilizer spreader. So that comes in 2 different versions. I've seen it with basically crushed gravel, really fine crushed gravel. So the iron coated gravel, and you put that in your fertilizer spreader. It's very fine. Looks like fertilizer size, but it's just gravel. And that would be a way to apply moss control. But the way I do it is there's a fertilizer that basically is a 936 fertilizer. That comes with the iron sulfate or phosphate, sulfate, whatever, and just coated in the iron dust. So you get a little bit of the dust blowing, but not as bad because it's mostly the fertilizer prills that are coated. So that's what I use. It's highly effective, but it's really good for greening up the lawn, because the iron, of course, will green up the lawn. There's a lot of... And this lawn is just growing like crazy, 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 crazy. A lot of trimming here today. It just took off. We've had so much rain. In fact, today, I wasn't sure. I actually did some of my Thursday lawns yesterday, at the end of yesterday, because they're calling for a ton of rain. So I was actually thinking about maybe not working today. Even though I work in the rain all the time, but I was like, you know what, I've got Friday that I could move lawns to, so we're gonna see how many lawns I can do before the rain starts. The problem is not the working in the rain. Obviously, I've done that for 20 years. Here in the Pacific Northwest, there's no escaping that. It's just that the rain has been so heavy here lately. So a lot of lawns are just terrible in terms of the drainage part of it. So they've been really hard to even walk on. All right, so that's that one. This one here, she trains dogs. So there's usually a bunch of obstacle course things set up in the lawn there for dogs doing like agility training. So that's why I call it a utility type lawn, because it's never going to be a fantastic condition lawn with the dogs running around on it and peeing and pooping and all that sort of stuff. So nobody wants to let me know if the audio's working. Be great if you could just let me know in the chat. Helps out a lot. I did a live stream once where I was asking for like the whole like hour and a half live stream, and nobody said nothing, that they couldn't hear the audio or anything. And it was like, really? Did a live stream for an hour and a half and nobody mentioned anything about the audio not working? Like literally it was silent. Everybody's so shy. Nobody wants to say anything. All right. So I'm using the Cress mower today. Still using that. At the moment, I am waiting for Milwaukee. Will be sending me their Milwaukee mower. So I'm going to be testing the Milwaukee out this year. That I know for sure. Which I'm excited about because the Milwaukee is a option that is very high quality in terms of Milwaukee tools, but it's also a less expensive option for people that want to get into mowing and using battery stuff. The Cress is fantastic in terms of the technology, but a lot of the comments that I get from people is that it's just too cost prohibitive, I guess is the word. And so it's hard for guys, especially smaller businesses, smaller like single owner operators, to justify costs. So maybe the Crest isn't so much a starter model. Like they say, talk about buying your first house, your starter house, and then you kind of upgrade a few years later into some higher quality sort of thing. So maybe the Crest is kind of like that. Maybe it's kind of like the higher quality kind of scenario versus the starter package. But yeah, I use a lot of Milwaukee tools, hedge trimmers, wood block, and all that sort of stuff. I think it's fantastic. The cost is a lot easier to get into for those looking to get into battery. So I got the phone just kind of on a mount that's just hanging off my neck. So it might be a little bit shaky. Got it on the widest angle camera, so hopefully that helps a bit. gives you a better view, but also should help a little bit with the watchability of it. So yeah, either way, I'm excited about trying out different equipment for different price ranges, different uh, availability. Because there's a lot of places where even if you wanted this Crest stuff and were willing to spend money, the price tag for it might not be available where you're at. You have very limited dealers. Yeah, it's just it'd be really, really expensive. It's the biggest obstacle. The performance of it is fantastic, but it's just that price tag that a lot of people just, especially if you're coming from gas equipment, it's kind of a different mindset to think about. Especially with the batteries that you're like prepaying for your gas in advance, right? So it's not so much like the mower. This mower, for instance, it's not too bad. I don't know what it costs in the U.S. But here in Canada, it's obviously going to be more money because of the exchange rate. But I think this mower is like $1,200, $1,200 or so for just the mower, which isn't too bad because that's like what a commercial 21-inch mower would typically go for around here. I'd actually be on the lower end. But then you consider that it does not come with a charger or batteries, and you have to add that up. And I think the charger here is another $1,000, $999, and then batteries. That's the big one. This battery is not dying yet. Got one bar, but I'm going to change it because I don't want to be stuck. I'm trying to unlock my truck, but my remote is not working anymore. Trying to watch the lights flash, seeing if that worked or not. Yeah, I don't know if that worked. Oh, it did. That's good. That makes it easier. All right, I'm gonna grab a battery. So yeah, I'm just gonna switch the battery out. I probably would have enough with that one bar. Just went to the one bar to do the backyard, but I'm gonna switch it so that I don't have to do a walk of shame. Typically on one of these batteries, so as I was talking about the prices of things, so like that battery there, 11 amp hour battery, so the charger's $1,000, the mower's about $1,200. That's one of those single batteries is just over $2,000 for just the battery. So that's where kind of is difficult for people to wrap their head around that. But you got to think of it like just prepaying for fuel. You're kind of getting infinite fuel with it. Now these batteries, of course, all batteries have degradation. I've been using this mower now for a season and a half. So all of last year and half from the summer to the end of the season the year before. and there's been no degradation so far. I think Crest, these batteries are warranted for 6 years and like 10,000 charge cycles or something, which is crazy. Their warranties really good, but it looks like I got a comment. Let's see. Just gotta angle the phone down because it's like on my neck. I can't focus on what the question says. Let's see. It's backwards, PNW, Pacific Northwest. That's awesome. Glad to see these live videos are back in action. Hey, awesome. Glad you enjoy them. Kind of dorky for me to kind of do them, walking around with the phone hanging off my neck. But I don't know. I'm a geek. I'm geek enough to pull it off. I think. I'm also old enough. I just turned 50 a couple of weeks ago. I'm old enough to not care what people think anymore. All this part with these live streams is unfortunately, obviously the intended audience is other lawn care people, but I would hope that they're actually working at the same time. Right now is a little bit different because a lot of places haven't started their lawn care season yet. And of course, people can watch it after the fact in the evening and stuff. But you kind of lose the whole live stream portion of it, and hopefully engagement of people asking questions and stuff like that. That's really why I try to do them. See if people want to ask questions about equipment that I may not cover in review videos and stuff like that. And I'll be able to talk candidly about stuff. People, not that I can't during videos, but just stuff that I may not be thinking of that apply to my situation when I'm doing a review video that somebody else might have a different situation that they might want to kind of know about. So I'm mowing this at 2.5 inches. Yeah, 2.5 inches is what we're mowing this lawn at right now. So yeah, the difficult thing about the live streams is that I just don't know what the situation is going to be. And I've got a house, so I can't pre-schedule them, right? So that's the difficult thing, is that it's always going to be just end of the last minute sort of decision on if the conditions are right, if I'm getting Wi-Fi signal where I'm at, if the customer's home, if they're outside, if there's other people around working on the property. So I don't want to schedule them and be like, I can't do it, sorry you waited. So that obviously is going to affect, watching. Another question. Best, thanks for the insight. Give your business. Thanks. That's awesome. It's right next to comment. Oh, exactly. Every situation and environment is different. Yeah. That's what I say. In all of the review videos and stuff I do, I'll give you an example. The Exmark Staris 32-inch mower. You would think that would be fantastic for me in these small lawns. And technically, it would be awesome if it worked. It doesn't. Not because the mower doesn't work well. The mower works fantastically well. I see a lot of guys using it in, Florida, again, Texas, those types of places. But here in the Pacific Northwest, it's just too freaking heavy. and the rear wheels to be able to keep that tiny little 32-inch footprint. Uh, I've heard somebody refer to them as like pizza cutter wheels, right? Like the thin pizza wheel that you use to cut your pizzas with, like that, right? And that's exactly what they were. So you have all this weight of that machine, which is built like a tank. Which, for some people, I think that, it's probably great if you have lots of crews, people abusing the equipment. For an owner-operator like me, I would love to see them make a lightweight version of these mowers. I think they're just getting way too overweight, way too heavy. So we've had, and you're backwoods Pacific Northwest. I'm guessing you're probably close by, whether you're in Canada or on the U.S. side. We've been having a ton of rain, so I'm sure you have too. But the one trend I noticed lately is that in the last 5 years, is just that the rain has gotten so much heavier. Like it rains the same frequency as it always has, but when it rains here now, it is just like crazy how heavy at times. And the lawns just do not drain fast enough. So I can't use mowers like the Stars and stuff. I had the Stars for a little while, and it was awesome on the days I could use it. If it was dry enough and things like that. You'll notice in a lot of my videos and footage, it's like summertime, dry lawns on those review videos because it's just too heavy for me to use. But I always say that in the kind of the comments and stuff, right? That just because a mower is not good for me doesn't mean it's not good for you, because your situation could be completely different. Oh my gosh, those French fries smell amazing. It's roughly about 12:30. It's 1 o'clock here. As I was mentioning earlier, I call this the French fry house because it always smells like French fries here. And that's because, for those that weren't here at the beginning of the stream, that's because just beyond the backyard here, that building right there, right behind the fence, is actually a a Wendy's drive-through. So it smells like Wendy's fries, which is kind of torturous right now because with the last year I was suffering with plantar fasciitis, and I was in so much pain mowing last year. So I decided to take the winter and just do nothing, like absolutely nothing, other than like social media stuff. But like no moving around, just staying off my feet. So, and that did helped heal plantar fasciitis, made it a lot better. It's still not perfect, but it also made me gain all the weight that I lost during the pandemic when I was doing intermittent fasting and only eating once a day. So I gained all that weight back. So just last couple days, 4 days ago, I decided to start intermittent fasting again. So I was like beyond the weight that I was before. So that's not good. I don't feel as good as I did before. I felt my best when I was fasting. So to come and mow lawns when I, haven't had breakfast, hadn't had lunch, I'm only really eating dinner. And to come here and smell French fries. It's like that meme, the music you would hear on a lot of those popular internet memes. It's like I open the gate and the wafting fry smell hits, and it's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Backwards, yes sir. Generating. We're located in Washington State. Awesome. I had just gone to Washington State last weekend for the first time since before Christmas. I have a little recreational property there in just off of Lake Whatcom on Cane Lake Road. And yeah, I hadn't gone since before Christmas. And so I was looking, I've got some security cameras at the place, and was looking, and there's a lot of like storm. There was no storm damage per se, but there was lots of storm debris. There you go. From like the winter storms, just like trees, a lot of tree debris on the ground, all over the place and stuff. So I was like, okay, I gotta go there and clean it up. So I went last weekend, just for the day. Didn't stay there overnight. Just went for a few hours. Enjoyed a campfire after cleaning up, and then came back. Oh, I don't even remember. Did I flip the mower over when I emptied the bag there? Check the bottom. I don't think I did I? Or did I? No, I didn't. You should do that when I empty the bag. Beckwith says, do you like that electric mower? Oh, you know where that's located. Oh, you're referring to Cane Lake, Whatcom Lake area. Yeah, it's pretty close. It only takes me from my house here in Canada, especially since I've got like the Nexus passes to cross the border, which is like basically extra security clearance to cross. I had to do a whole bunch of like background checks and things with Homeland Security. They like check your whole history, like from when you're like a little kid till now, to see what crimes and stuff, if you had any records or anything like that. So if you're all good, then you can get an Nexus card, which basically gets you just faster border crossing. You don't have to wait in the big lines, is basically all it is there'll be a separate line. You still have to talk to a border guard, a U.S. border guard, but there's just not as many people going through that particular entry point. So it's faster. So because of that, I can go from my driveway and get to that Cane Lake area in just about almost exactly 1 hour. So that's nice and close. There's like a lot of lakes around. There's like three lakes there. Lake Whatcom and the Cane Lake. There's a smaller Reed Lake, and then I forget the name of the other one. The other one off of Highway 5 or Interstate 5 starts with an S. I keep forgetting the name of that one. I can never remember it. I don't know why. But yeah, the mower's nice. As I was explaining, sorry I forgot your question. The mower is nice. It works really well. The biggest thing with that Crest mower, as I was talking about in the beginning of this live stream, is just that they are very expensive. So I was saying how I'm going to be testing out the Milwaukee mower this year as well. excited for that because one of the comments I get on the Crest stuff is that it's just too expensive for most people. They can't wrap their heads around spending that much. So yeah, and the cost all comes down to those batteries are just, they're very good, but that comes at a very high premium of, thousands of dollars per battery. So it better be good for that price. And it is. It's very good. So I'm excited about trying some other options this year. Even though that is a very good option. But more for not everybody can afford that stuff. I love testing equipment, so testing something like the Milwaukee, how many batteries you would need. Just a lot more affordable option for people. So that'll be interesting to see how it does here in our Pacific Northwest type conditions. You can see here, because this lawn is, like I said, I call it a utility cut because of the dogs. I'm not edging all of these stones and stuff, I'm just trimming them. Yeah, that one is, that one's all done. But overall, to kind of expand on your question, I just absolutely prefer the battery stuff, whether it's the trimmers, blowers, or mowers. I don't see using gas mowers ever again, unless it's just for testing something, but not for my own business. The battery stuff is just too good. No maintenance, tons of power. They don't bog down in the rain and wet like gas motors do. How you get that kind of you hear the RPMs struggling if it's clogging. The electric will still clog. It'll still, the deck will still get clogged up, but the motor does not slow down. It just keeps at a higher RPM. There's just so much more torque with electric motors. So we got some stripes here. You can see the color difference between this lawn already. It's been a couple weeks with that moss control, the iron greening up versus the neighbor's lawn that didn't get any. And we're done. I always got to double check when I'm doing live streams and I've got everything because my brain is in the clouds there, thinking about the live stream and stuff. Yeah, I think we got everything right. Dumped. Then I closed this garbage bin. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's like rubbing your stomach and patting your head or thing at the same time. Trying to think about your actual work. Yep, I closed them. Thinking about your actual work and doing a live stream. Interesting. So I'm going to put this handle on upside down. It should be facing the other way. So at any rate, it's good, but you can see a cloudy day. Lots of clouds in the sky. So I am just mowing today. Trying to see how far I can get before the rain hits. There's some clear skies over there. This blue patch. So who knows? It's supposed to be raining all day. And today it's holding off, so. Let me take this off here. Move it back, flip the camera around. Woo, there we go. So yeah, there's the headphones I'm using, right? This is the IsoTunes. These are the Link 2.0s. And then the optional boom mic. So these are connected to my phone via Bluetooth. So this is pretty cool for this type of a situation where I'm live streaming or something, and I can have, this microphone. I can even put the phone down somewhere, and what's Bluetooth, 30 feet or something. so it would let me still basically have like a wireless mic type of a setup, but while working with my ears protected. So that's kind of neat. It's a little, just plugs in at the bottom there and comes off. Uh, yeah, and then I just use this little neck mount here. It's like a GoPro style neck mount, and it came with a phone holder as well, optional phone holder. So it's just quick, squeeze it to open it, put the phone on it, and that's how I do these live streams. Of course, having lots of data helps. As much data as you can muster up. Ooh, the only difference here is that it gets really hot with those headphones as soon as I get into the truck. So yeah, that's that particular little lawn. But yeah, excited to this year going to be trying some different options for people, some different battery powered mower options in different price ranges. So because up till now, Crest has been kind of on that high end, and a lot of guys, like I said, one of the most common comments that I get all the time is just how expensive the Crest stuff is. So yeah, I thought this year let's try some other stuff, and so Milwaukee, I'm waiting for Milwaukee mower to come out and some of their blowers. So I'll be trying that and trying to do like a full Milwaukee setup and seeing how that'll work, how many batteries would be required, all that sort of stuff. So that's what I've got on the agenda at the moment. There's just so much stuff on the market, so many things coming, battery-wise, lots of different systems. A lot of people asking me about charging solutions on the truck, or mobile charging solutions and things like that. So going to be looking into stuff like that, and just kind of testing out the stuff. Here in the Pacific Northwest, because of all that rain, I say this a lot, and I've talked to equipment manufacturers as well, and I always say that here in the Pacific Northwest, I think we have the most difficult mowing conditions in all of North America because it's always wet. It grows like crazy from week to week. And it's always lush and just thick. And they all nod their heads in agreement. They're like, yep. Right? So I always say that, if a mower can handle it here, it can probably handle it anywhere in North America where conditions are better. But here it's just always wet, nasty, and soft ground and all that sort of stuff. So like testing stuff out and trying different options for you guys. So if you have any suggestions on brands or equipment you want me to try out, you can let me know there in the comments. There's a few brands I'm talking to at the moment. I'm not going to reveal who they are. A couple of them, so we'll see if those come into fruition. Yeah, I've had there's a couple of partnerships that I've had that have ended. So won't be testing those products at the moment or showing them, creating content and stuff for them anymore. So outside of, if I'm using something and I'm doing it on a live stream, then it is what it is. But I'm not going to make content for products or equipment that, I'm not working with a brand with anymore, just because, hey, that's how it rolls, right? But yeah, let me know if there is stuff that you guys are specifically wanting me to try out or test. If you have questions and stuff, I get a lot of people telling me or asking me if I've tried out certain equipment, and they're always saying that kind of the common theme that I've seen, which is kind of flattering, is people saying like I'm waiting for your review before I buy it, which is awesome. That's I hope that's people are getting the idea here that I'm not testing stuff out and sugarcoating it and stuff. Like I'm always being honest and stuff. Like if you look at that Crest mower, for example, let's flip it around. Let's go take a look at it. I'm gonna go open the trailer and flip it around and show you what I'm talking about here. Let me get back out and unload it. because I think it's a great example. Let me flip this camera around. And let me put this back on the holster. This is a great opportunity, actually, to kind of talk about that with a lot of like reviewers and stuff. They get this stuff from brands and companies and give you guys recommendations on stuff. And this stuff is like brand new. I've seen videos from big influencers, and they'll be talking about something and going like, this is the best thing since sliced bread, basically. And you look at it and you're like, dude, you haven't even used it. Like it's brand new. It doesn't even have any grass on it or anything. Now, of course, there's going to be things like that trimmer that I just got, so it's going to look a lot newer and stuff. But when I say like this Crest mower, this has been my go-to for the last year and a half. Look at it. Like, there's no denying that I put this through its paces. Like, this has seen so much abuse over the past year and a half in weather, the nastiest weather that you would see, which is why, like, you can see the mud and stuff just caked on it. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. This is what I do to the stuff. I do very little maintenance other than, sharpening blades. And if it's a gas piece of equipment, then changing the oil if it requires the oil changes. But that's it. I don't, even with the gas stuff, I use the cheapest gas. I do very minimal. I don't change spark plugs. I don't do anything like that. And the reason I don't do it is because I'm testing it. I want to see what the stuff is capable of doing it. I'm also very fortunate in that a lot of these brands send me the stuff. So I haven't put out my own money for a lot of this stuff. Obviously, now if I put out my own money for something, I'm going to do all the maintenance on it, right? But because a lot of this stuff is sent to me, I do no maintenance on it because I can afford to not do maintenance on it because it wasn't my money to buy it. So that benefits you guys because I get to abuse this stuff and you guys get to see the result of that. So when you're making your decisions on buying stuff, you know that I'm not sugarcoating things. I'm not telling you to buy stuff. I'm not telling you to thing. I'm giving you honest opinions. If I'm, still using, I get that question all the time. Are you really using battery stuff? It's like, yeah, like roll up on me when I'm mowing lawns without me knowing that you're coming. And what I'm using is what I'm using. There's nothing else. I don't have gas stuff with me. I don't have anything else. Just using the battery stuff, and I'm using it in all of those different conditions. So, yeah, here's what it is. There's my rant for today. Because it just drives me nuts when I see some of these other guys pushing products and stuff. And I hear stories from people saying that, they bought a piece of equipment because they saw such and such YouTuber's video on it, on a particular mower or something like that. And then, they get to using it, and it's like the biggest, like this is literally a story I've heard from somebody saying that they saw one of the big green industry YouTubers using a piece of equipment and saying it was like awesome. So they went and bought it, and it was the opposite. It was garbage. And a few years later, they ran into that person, met them in person, and pointed out, said, hey, how come you said that this was, an awesome piece of equipment? Like, I went and bought it, and it was actually the opposite. And the the person admitted that it wasn't very good, but they said sorry, like they were paying me to, do a video, an ad or commercial or whatever, right? Um, and what was more shocking was then that person said to me, but I have to respect them for, being honest in that moment when I confronted them. And I was like, no, no, you don't, because that video is still up. That video um, is still fooling people. There's people buying that mower based on that video, and they're finding out what you found out. So yeah, so I hope it's the opposite when you guys watch my YouTube videos and stuff like that. That I'm showing stuff. There's a lot of videos I do that I'm just unboxing, showing something for the first time, and that. But it's those long-term, honest reviews that and I label them as such. That hopefully you guys see the value in that. That yeah, it's long term. It's not after a week. It's after a year or two that you're going to get that information. So appreciate all of the uh, the comments from people on those videos and stuff. That really appreciate the effort of using stuff long term in these nasty conditions and all that sort of stuff. So that's pretty neat. But otherwise, I think I'm done for right now. Which is interesting because there's like 6 people on right now on the stream, but that is the French Fry House. I don't know if you can see I was saying there, for those that just joined, that this house is one that I call the French Fry House because it always smells like French fries, and we're done now, but there's in the backyard, see if I can grab the other camera here, a telephoto, so you can see the Wendy's sign there. So there's literally a Wendy's restaurant right behind the back fence there. So that's why it smells like French fries. When I'm mowing, especially right now, it's like almost like 1 o'clock or so in the afternoon here. So yeah, that's the French Fry House. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I would like to hang on a little bit longer, seeing as there's more people on the stream. Maybe we'd get some more questions and stuff. But I'm going to head home right now. I finished all of the push mowing jobs. At least I hope I've finished all the push mowing jobs. I'm going to go grab my turf tracer. And then I'm going to see at the next house. The next house is nasty, though, for drainage. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to use the turf tracer. But we'll see. It didn't rain yesterday, and it still hasn't rained yet today. So I might be able to get away with the turf tracer. Otherwise, I might have to do a combination of turf tracing and push mowing, or maybe some string trimming. We'll see. But if you guys are available, then keep your eye out. Maybe I'll do another live stream in a little bit, like within 30 minutes to an hour or so. Once I get home, load it up, and then head back over there and go to that one and see. So that's it for this one, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for joining the live stream.